Justin Fields got traded, and now I think there's a bunch of unfair expectations on Caleb. We should expect him to be great. That's a fact.
Yeah.
But I see Bears fans saying, if we don't make the playoffs next year, this is a failure, and it's just Caleb's rookie year. You have Deion Sanders coming out saying that he doesn't like Caleb in Chicago because it's cold and because Caleb has been used to good weather.
USC,
I think Caleb got the arm that he could be fine anywhere. He just has that talented of an arm. But you have a lot of negativity on Caleb Williams. RG3 came out and said he should pull an Eli Manning on the Chicago Bears because of how they did Justin Fields. And I feel like people aren't recognizing that the Bears are a great situation. Really, just RG3 wasn't recognizing in that point. But really, I want to make this about Caleb Williams and just your expectations for him next year and the negativity around him, because I think it's interesting what's going on with him. Bears fans, there was a majority of them that didn't want to move on from Justin Fields and draft Caleb. They theorized that they were keeping Fields and trading the first overall pick. And now a lot of those same negative fans are now trying to put a lot of pressure on him in his first year in the NFL.
So, sorry, Drew, before you give your opinion, I just want to throw you their schedule.
Okay.
Just so you can have a better understanding. Their opponents, at least.
So are we doing the Bears 2024 NFL schedule prediction?
Opponents. They have their opponents. I just want you, before you have a gauge of, like, their schedule, just what they're going to be like. So obviously at home, they will play Detroit. They'll play Green Bay. Minnesota, of course, the divisions. And then they'll play the Rams, Seattle, the Jaguars, the Titans, the Panthers, and the Patriots. Then on the road, they play obvious 3 division teams. And then they play Arizona, San Fran, Houston, Colts, Commanders.
Damn.
Do your thing, brother.
That's 50-50.
Yeah, that's
They
tough.
got some ones, Commanders,
That road
the Panthers,
schedule is nuts.
Patriots.
Oh, D.
the Cardinals. Those are some wins they could get.
Division's going to be
Cardinals
tough,
can be
though.
sneaky.
Like, that's going to be 6 games where you're probably going to be an underdog in all of them. Not Minnesota, actually, probably not.
You know, I have a pretty big problem with this. I say this because what is the comparison of Caleb Williams right now? What is the overwhelming majority is that you see Caleb Williams, and who is he being compared to? Arguably the greatest quarterback to ever touch a football field in Patrick Mahomes. I personally see a little bit more Kyler. He's not as fast as Kyler. That's who I see. Maybe that's because of the height, but I do think they have similar play styles. But a lot of comparisons are to Patrick Mahomes because of his escapability, his big arm, his ability to hit throws all over the field. So, Bears fans, just take that in for a second. If you're having a quarterback compared to one of the greatest we've ever seen, how about you be grateful? Now, number 2. I have such a problem with people not keeping the main thing the main thing. And what's the main thing? Being good at football at this current point in time. When you vocalize anything, you open yourself to criticism. That's natural. People will have opinions on us because that's our job, to talk. But a lot of what your critique of Caleb Williams should be is his play on the football field. So because you've heard him speak and you feel like he has a little arrogance to him, he has what I see, confidence. We're suddenly looking at him and now questioning whether or not the hype was real. Because I know for a fact when Trevor Lawrence was the generational prospect, the best prospect we've ever seen, the best prospect since Andrew Luck, there was nobody that had draft fatigue when it came to Trevor Lawrence. Why? Because he was boring? Because he never spoke, really?
There was a narrative around Trevor Lawrence that he didn't want to win, because I think he had an interview with Sports Illustrated that Super Bowls wasn't the most important thing to him.
He said football's not my life, more or less. People were not happy.
But people are now talking about Caleb Williams and his nails, talking about Caleb Williams with the dresses, talking about Caleb Williams that he's on the sideline after he just lost his opportunity to compete for the national championship on the sideline with his parents, hugging his parents and crying. If you've ever cared about something, anything in your life, it should evoke some type of emotion with you. Probably won't experience anything like Caleb has if you're just a normal human being, where he's competing for something that is actually going to impact his future. Now, the emotion that he felt in that situation where he felt like he failed, he showed the emotion like a normal human being would. Oh, so now we're going to shame him for crying to his mom and his pops. If you can't be vulnerable with your parents, who can you be vulnerable with, really? Because you're not keeping the main thing the main thing. On the football field, There is nobody in college football that is on his level. But because now he's opened he's decided to be vocal about the questions that they're asking. You're not liking how he's answering them. Now we're starting to question who he is because you don't like his personality. Keep the main thing the main thing. And that's really my big problem in this, because when it comes to just watching him play football, there should be no questions about his game. Zero.
Caleb Williams is special. And I think it's a rare combination when you have a team that's picking first overall that has a good situation waiting for you.
Almost never
And that's what Caleb Williams got right now with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, two solid tight ends in Cole Kmet and Gerald Everett.
I like Cole.
I think we're going to see a breakout from Darnell Wright, their tackle. I think he's a future star, and they can have a running game. I didn't like the DeAndre Swift signing. I really don't think DeAndre Swift is good. They should have just rolled out there with Roshan Johnson, Khalil Herbert next year, and maybe draft, a blocking running back to manage those third downs. I wanted to kind of do an exercise because people throw that around often, right? Quarterbacks that are selected first overall, they're often not thrown into good situations. So I went back to 2009 quarterbacks drafted in first overall, and I just put down their weapons. So who was a running back, who led the team in rushing yards, and who were the top two receivers. If there was a good name in there, I might have mentioned a third. So let's look at the situations of former number one overall picks in NFL history, because Caleb Williams is going into a great situation. Bryce Young, Chuba Hubbard, Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, Jonathan Mingo.
Chuba Hubbard.
And it's Chuba Hubbard because
my
they
God.
gave Miles Sanders $28 million and had to bench him.
Yeah, and Chuba Hubbard was significantly better.
What are we grading this
It's
situation?
an F.
F.
That's an F. On to the next one. Joe Burrow as a rookie. Joe Mixon played 6 games, but still led the team in rushing. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and A.J. Green.
Wait, are we grading just the talent or what they actually did?
The offensive talent around them.
I'll give that a B minus.
That is like a B minus.
If you take into account the offensive line too, I mean, it's probably close to like a C.
I'm fine. I'm going B minus.
But yeah, if you're
strictly
just
for-
saying straight weapons, yeah, I think B is fine.
Next name up, Kyler Murray. Had Kenyon Drake, Larry Fitzgerald, and Christian Kirk.
Kenyon Drake,
D plus.
a C minus.
Kenyon Drake was
He had a
pretty
couple years. This
solid
was
with Carolina.
Larry
with
at
Cardinals
the,
team.
it
It
was
was.
C minus,
Larry,
same
Christian.
I was thinking like a C.
Yeah, C minus.
C minus.
Next
yeah.
up is Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry, David Njoku.
That's a B.
Yeah, I'm with you. B.
That is a
give it a
B.
B.
But
And
we
real
also
ball
can't forget that
knowers.
the year before that they what was it?
They won 0 games? Yeah, I think they might have won 0 games. We have to mention this because it's a real ball knower name, Antonio Callaway.
Okay.
He was also on this team, made some highlight catches for the Browns.
Antonio Callaway is a ball. Is he more of a ball knower name than Auden Tate?
No, you got to know ball if you know Auden Tate. You got to know ball if you know Auden Tate. He's a legend.
What is it? Corey Coleman.
Yep, first round, one of the best receivers ever.
Damn.
He has to be traded because he wasn't being thrown to enough.
Yeah, really. Next name up, Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, Kenny Britt, Brian Quick, and Tavon Austin.
B?
This was. I mean,
I'm
this
going-
was.
I feel like
Was
prime-
this when
this
Todd
prime
Gurley was
Todd
nice?
Gurley.
Oh, yeah.
prime
No,
Todd?
this was
drafted.
Todd Gurley's rookie year. These quarterback situations stepping in
So
into
Jared
year
and
one.
Todd
No,
came
that
the same
wasn't
year?
Todd Gurley's rookie year.
Oh no, you're right. It was the second
It
year.
was
Todd Gurley had less than 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
rushing
he
this
was
year.
not that good this year.
This was when Jared Goff had Jeff Fisher as head
Exactly.
coach.
It's
Speed
the
out
last
there.
Fisher year.
I'll change this to like C plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, C
B
plus,
minus.
C
A lot of
plus.
speed. Tavon
It's just because like I knew what Gurley becomes, so it's
Yeah,
easier to be
yeah,
like
yeah.
he was fucking amazing.
Jameis Winston, Doug Martin, who was an
He
All-Pro
was a dog.
that year, Mike Evans,
Dog.
Charles Sims, and then rest in peace to the late Vincent Jackson.
This is like A.
I was gonna say that's
This
a
was
good
nice.
B plus, A
Doug
minus.
Martin,
I'm cool
Vincent
with
Jackson,
that.
Mike
Yeah.
Evans is crazy.
I'll be honest, Chicago probably clears all of this.
Tampa Bay is the closest one.
So far, Chicago is the best.
Yeah.
This next quarterback, Andrew Luck, Vic Ballard, Reggie Wayne, T.Y. Hilton, Donnie Avery. Reggie Wayne was a Pro Bowler, 1,000-yard receiver.
Okay.
Was this
Hit,
T.Y.?
Andrew
T.Y.
Luck's
was
rookie.
nice. This was T.Y.
This was rookie T.Y.
Young T- yeah,
Okay.
say
T.Y.
young
was still
T.Y.
great.
I would
this
still
year,
give it a B plus.
Yeah.
That is like a B plus B.
I don't know that running back you said.
Not
Vic
taking into
Ballard?
account
Yeah,
the
I'm
offensive
sorry.
line.
I just
He had 800 yards.
Yeah,
that
you
year.
caught me with that one.
Yeah,
I'll be
Vic
honest.
Ballard.
Yeah, no clue who that is.
Cam Newton has some weapons. He had D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart,
One of the best running
Steve
back
Smith
throwers ever.
Jr. He had Greg Olsen and Brandon LaFell.
This is
That's an A.
damn near. It's just they didn't really. Probably
That
an A
rookie
minus.
year, Cam, that he got Steve Smith for too. That Steve Smith was still great.
Yeah, he was.
Last 2 first overall picks: Sam Bradford, Steven Jackson, Danny Amendola, Brandon Gibson. This is like a D to me.
C minus.
I understand.
This was Steven Jackson.
Still good.
He had 1,200 yards that year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, there
I'm
was-
going C. I'm going Steve Jackson was really good, and then also Danny Amendola was a respectable wide receiver. I feel like C's fair there.
He's fair.
Matthew Stafford had Kevin Smith, Calvin Johnson, and Brian Johnson.
It is being
Having-
carried.
Having Calvin Johnson's like a minimum
Yeah.
B minus.
B minus. OD.
Period. Just him.
So looking at where all these first overall picks went situation-wise, where would you rank Caleb Williams and the Bears?
It's up there with
It's top two.
Carolina.
To me, it's top 2. Carolina's fair. I think Tampa Bay with Doug Martin, Mike Evans,
sure.
Vincent Jackson. He was hurt. He only played like 9 games, but would have been on pace for 1,000 yards. Carolina's fair too. 2 running backs. You got Greg Olsen and Steve Smith. Top 3 at worst. I would have them probably, honestly, first or second. DJ Moore and Keenan Allen is one of the
It's
better
being carried
receiving
by that
duos in the league.
for sure. DeAndre Swift's not a he's not a terrible player.
And there's a world where they still take a receiver at 9 if Odunze falls or Neighbors, which seems less likely.
for
but
sure.
Then you have
if they
one-
take that third wide receiver,
arguably,
oh my god.
one of the best receiving cores in the NFL.
I'm crazy for saying that the Browns give them a run for their money. Nick Chubb, Jarvis, and Njoku.
I think that's solid too.
I also think at the time, Njoku wasn't anything over the top.
He was a first round pick, but
Chubb
he hadn't
was that Chubb's rookie year also?
Yes.
Yeah, he started a little bit later because someone who got injured. I'm blanking. Oh man, because I remember that pretty vividly, where a running back got injured. I remember Nick Chubb was like the big pickup that offseason.
Yes,
or
I
that
do.
mid-season. Excuse me.
Carlos Hyde.
Yes,
Carlos Hyde.
yes, it was Carlos Hyde. Because Carlos Hyde was actually decent for them, and then he got injured, and then of course Nick Chubb was, never looked back.
He was a league winner.
Oh,
was.
for sure,
He was.
for
'Cause
sure.
He was just a free agent.
For me, I think Cam Newton and the Panthers, that situation with
Yep.
Steve Smith, the 2 running backs, Greg Olsen, that was better. Jameis Winston, Doug Martin, all-pro year, Mike Evans, that gives the Bears a run for their money. I think that Caleb for sure is in the top 3 position in the last 12, 13 years
sure.
amongst the first overall pick quarterbacks.
For sure, this is a rarity that you see the first overall pick be put in a situation immediately that we legitimately are talking about the Bears as a potential playoff team.